Alrighty. Hello, gentlemen. Gentlemen, singular. That's for you, Train. Gonna let people get in here because the other link, hopefully you see this and get the notification. The other link was being wonky on me. So I'm going to give you a minute for the two that were on the other line to jump in because this is crap. Technology. Like I said, I had a bunch of slides prepared, so I wanted to be able to show these. And with that other link, I couldn't do so. So nonetheless, you should see Fat Bastard playing with his titties. And Beyonce and Austin Powers are apparently in this GIF as well. This is quite the elaborate GIF. I did not realize that at the time. So if you see that, comment, yes, cool, yes, whatever. I need to find this link myself. So for those watching a replay, fast forward the first minute of this because it's entertaining. Okay. There we go. So far, so good. Alrighty, you guys are good? Alright, enough of a fat bastard. We are talking man boobs, right? The cure for man boobs essentially comes down to hormones. So try to put away your phone unless you're watching this on your phone. Notifications can distract the best of intentions. I just made that up, but I foresee that on my tombstone as a quote. I'm aiming high. So we're also going to give you a sneak peek at the workouts. You may have seen them load into the app if you're active in there. If you're not, I'm tisking at you. And we are going to go through 9 steps to improve or reduce moobs. Because there's two ways this can happen, right? As a teenager often, which happened to me. I had a horrible case of this, to be honest with you. And I would always wear a sweater vest pretty much 5 of 7 days of the week. A sweater vest that concealed my man boobs. And clearly was not getting in the pool at any point unless I had 2 layers of clothes on. And so this was definitely an issue growing up. And because of this imbalance, it took me a while to change my genetics. And basically it all started through these 9 reasons. Of course, losing the weight being your first priority. Okay? So that is drop weight. You all know this, right? It's super important. But the lower your body fat is, the better your testosterone. In general, that's how it works. Obviously, everyone has genetic differences. But the leaner you are, the better your testosterone will be. There's a point actually of diminishing returns if you get too lean and you're 8% body fat, your testosterone can actually tank in that case. But we're not going there, right? Because that is an extreme dieting case, which most of us aren't looking to do, nor should we do. All right? There's also some drugs you can get, aromatase inhibitors. A lot of steroid users use these to manage estrogen because when they shoot up testosterone, estrogen goes up with it. And to balance the two, to lower their estrogen, they take these hard drugs, which are actually anti-cancer drugs in some cases. But too much issues, too many side effects to even concern yourself with those unless you're under doc-supervised testosterone replacement. And that ultimately should be your last resort. I think it's a good solution for many, but I'm trying to get you to look for a natural way of doing this first. Nothing wrong with either way. It's just if you have to, avoid that, you should. All right. So number 2, plastics is really underrated because our society today is so focused on everything coming in a package that's made of plastic, right? Our Tupperware is plastic. Forks are plastic. We drink out of plastic cups. So almost entirely eliminating plastic is for the best, especially if it's something you're taking to work and heating up. That's when you really run into these issues with endocrine suppressing. BPA, for one, you've heard of, but a lot of the BPA-free ones have the same issues based on some of the recent data on it, right? So offer glass whenever possible, metal water bottles, that type of thing. Do away with your plastic. If at all possible, 9 times out of 10, You don't have to be perfect, and I'll explain a way to kind of reduce this even if you use plastic. But for now, try to hone in on reducing your use. All right, there is a toilet. And this one is talking high fiber. So if you're following the diet plan, as I've outlined, you've got lots of greens in there. Even things like rice that build up resistant starch when you reheat it. Very good for this. Some of those protein bars are okay for this. Just really making sure you're regular. TMI, but being regular, because for one, estrogen can be excreted in your shit. And if we're trying to manage estrogen levels, we should try to shit it out. There's your tip for the night. Shit tip. All right, number 4. So this kind of goes without saying. The healthier the animal was that you're eating, kind of grim, the better off the quality of meat will be, the better off you will be essentially by consuming that, right? I'm not really a woo-woo organic everything guy, but when it comes to anything with fat in it, particularly animal fats, you should try to opt for quality sources because the toxins get absorbed in the fat cells. You eat the fat cells, and it's full of shit because that's what they're using it's big business, right? They're using that to fatten them up and make bigger profits. So I would take this with a grain of salt. There's Netflix documentaries that would say you're dying with every bite of beef. That's not accurate, but trying to eat quality sources when you can, right? Leaner sources of beef, leaner sources of meat, the better, and so on. So I forgot to take the cow off this slide, so it has no context to number 5, which is canned foods. So eating out of a can has the same implications as eating out of plastic does over time, right? Not to quite the same degree, but BPA is in a lot of cans, and that's not a good thing, right? BPA in small amounts is fine, but over time, this builds up in your system, right? And we want to try to avoid that. So it all has an impact on your hormones. So if you can see this, you haven't fallen asleep on your laptop or cell phone, post a GIF. Is it GIF or GIF? That relates to Valentine's Day. Because I just did. I don't know why. I have OCD and get distracted easily. So see if you can beat that one. You butter, be my Valentine. Kind of fits with the whole grass-fed beef dairy thing. Good. All right. Number 5 again. My numbers are off. I needed a fact checker for this. So soy products, right? Soy is in a ton of crap, and it's a chemical. It's not a chemical estrogen, but it's plant-based, so it can throw off your hormonal balance as a man in high doses. Again, a little tofu here and there, a little soybeans, fine in moderation, but this is when you regularly eat it. You can run into these issues. All right? Train is not sleeping. That's a good sign. All right. So we're getting into the good stuff. Number 6. Hey, wow. Shocking. A fitness guy recommending working out. This is groundbreaking. So why would you do this beyond looking sexier, right? Building muscle, being more attractive to potential mates. There's also the evidence that shows you exercise helps your body flush and break down estrogen, which is all good, right? As men, you're not completely trying to eliminate estrogen. You need it for joint health, for libido. Surprisingly enough, if it's too low or too high, your libido and your erections go in the shitter. So we don't want that. But by naturally trying to reduce it, you're not going to tank them so low that a drug would do, right? So exercise, no brainer. Again. Number 7, a lot of this relates to being healthy in general, but melatonin, obviously the sleep hormone, protective effect against excess estrogen. I have a real struggle with estrogen, to say that word. So you can take melatonin, or better yet, you get your 7 hours a night and allow this to happen naturally, right? All right. So number 8, it could be number 9, my numbers were off, is do what you can to boost testosterone on the other end of the spectrum, right? because there's that yin and yang between testosterone and estrogen, and you want to have a good balance. You want to really push towards T. You're going to lose fat easier, gain muscle easier, and just a host of benefits as a man, right? So how do you do that? Well, I do have a cheat sheet I can send. I will post it in the group for those who want it with my 12 tips. This is a difficult one, though. Even if you're letter perfect and you do this right, you minimize stress, you still may have lower than average testosterone, and that's when you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy, right? And there's not many doctors. Well, it's more so in the States, a little more widespread, but in Canada, kind of a challenge to find a doctor that's well-versed in that, that's going to dose you properly. So I do have a book recommendation. If you have to go that route, if you get tested and find you're very low and it's impacting your quality of life, not to mention your ability to lose fat, then TOT Bible is the book by Jay Campbell. I'll put a link in the group. I would only explore this option if you've exhausted all of these natural remedies and still find yourself, feeling like crap and have blood work to back it up that you're low, right? But the biggest reason to get under 20% body fat, get leaner, is your testosterone increases. As I said off the top. Okay, lots of text. So, like I said in the plastic BPA slide, is even if you do have a fair bit of plastic in your life, fair bit of pollution, sweating every day is your body's natural way of detoxing from this. So I love the sauna for this reason. Exercise, of course, again. But all these things contribute to remove excess estrogen and the plastic byproducts that can be harmful to your hormonal health. So make sure you sweat daily. Easy enough. Train is sweating. My T counts from 10. Yeah, Train is actually on TRT, so he may be able to help some of you guys after you go to your doctor, of course. Don't just do this over the internet and order off some Chinese website. Check with Train. He's had a good experience with it. I think his doctor moderates or manages it pretty well. So certainly we have a resource in the group for this. I personally do not use, but I would definitely explore this north of 40 years old if I find blood work shows that I'm deficient, because I've had blood work done every year and my number kind of fluctuates. It's hard to keep it high unless your lifestyle is perfect. So it may be best to just go this route and kind of say adios to it. All right. So I put together a little day-to-day, hour by hour of what I would typically do on a training day in terms of dieting. There's a little too much information here, like the watch The Bachelor at 8:30 p.m. You guys probably didn't need to know that, but I just want to make sure you know that I'm in touch with my feminine side at times, with the wife happy. I'll also talk about my supplement use. So I've put this into a PDF. I'll share it with you guys in the group as well, because it kind of gives you a rundown how I do things. Certainly, it's not one size fits all. We all have our own way of approaching diet, and it should be as flexible as you need it to be to get results. So, all right. So next week, if you're really keen, I've uploaded workouts for most of you guys. A few of you are still going to be on home workouts, but a lot of you, I uploaded new workouts into the app. There's 4. So you cycle through those a week, then you try to beat your numbers the following week. We're going to run these for a little bit. And there's some finishers at the end, which I'm not going to get too into right now, but some promising evidence that by increasing blood flow to your abs at the end of a workout, paired with conditioning, you can spot target fat. I know that's a trouble spot for men. The same thing in theory I'm hoping will work for moobs. With chest work and conditioning, rinse and repeat. All right? So, of course, like any stubborn fat, this is the last to go. So you just have to keep dieting down. If you get to a point where you're quite lean, you still have visible evidence of your man boobs, then gynecomastia surgery is certainly an option. And I know lots of guys who've done it. It's pretty painless. You're back in the gym in a month. And I don't know if it's covered, but worth exploring if it's a real, obstacle for you. But do these 9, 10 tips, whatever the number was. Do them religiously, and I promise you, you'll start to see some progress. So start with one thing tomorrow on that list, whether it's packing your lunch in glass instead of plastic. Whatever it is, start simple. And then weigh in on Friday, right? The pre-weekend weigh-in to keep you honest through the weekend. No one's going to be perfect on the weekends, but honest, and 80% is better than 0% binge. Okay? So any questions? I was hoping to do 20 minutes. I think it was a little bit shy of that. That's good. Other than that, I'm going to post this slideshow in the group so you can look back on the 9 tips. Also put a T-boosting cheat sheet in here and my day in the life PDF. So 3 files for you to look over quickly. And that's it for today. Thank you guys for joining me.